All right, cool. All right. Hey guys, we are so excited. Okay, we've been seriously like anticipating. I just posted in my chat. I'm like, I don't think I've ever been this nervous to get on a Zoom before. I'm like, Katie's on. Okay. So I am so excited to have you on. We really, really appreciate you taking your time out and pouring into us, especially right now. Everybody's in huge momentum and things are going bonkers. And we just really appreciate you pouring into us tonight. It is a big, big deal. And so we do not take your time lightly at all. I wanted to just start out like with you sharing your story with us, however much of that you wanted to share. I have shared a little bit of bits and pieces of your story and like different trainings and stuff that you've done, like just in the last couple of years. Like I got notice of you, like my best friend's Kim Kane. I don't know if you know that, but I remember when she was like, yeah, I'm talking to this Katie Bevington, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh yeah, and she was like, just like telling me different tips and stuff she was learning from you, and I'm like, oh. And then of course I found your YouTube channel and I'm like, all right, I'm pretty sure I've watched like every video that she's ever freaking posted. So I'm gonna let you take it away and just share your story, and yeah, so I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much for having me on, you guys. I am an Ambassador Diamond. I have been with the company for 5.5 years, and I love it so, so much. I actually was introduced to this the first time at a gym when I was desperately in need of something, but totally not open to anything, if that makes sense. I got pregnant unexpectedly when I was 18. Me and my husband, we actually met when I was 16 years old. I got a job at Five Guys. He was the manager. And basically, like, shortly after that, we were just like, dating. And then 2 years later, I graduated high school early so I could go to school to be a doctor. And just so happens, like, I was in college and me and Zach were hanging out a lot and I got pregnant. And so then comes along a little baby. I had no intentions of ever having children. And so this was something that just like completely at the time just like moved my life around. I had no idea what I was going to do. And so I had the baby and me and Zach were just like, what the heck, we got to figure this out. And so we moved out of my mom's house when our baby was born, bought a house, and we just realized like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how we're going to do this. I changed my major to nursing because it was a lot shorter of, school, and I could just do that really quick. But I didn't realize that how much I did not want to be in the medical field until I became a nurse. And so now I'm in nursing school full time. I'm a mom. I'm a young mom. I'm working as a CNA. My husband's working 1,000,000 hours a week. We had no time together. We were fighting because we didn't have any money. And it just seemed like we could never catch up. And so when I saw it works, when I went to the gym with my mom as a guest, because broke people can't afford gym memberships. So I was walking out, I had a table, and this girl was like, oh, this wrap. And I was like, I kind of heard a little bit about this. This looks really cool, because obviously I was 18 years old, and I'm thinking, my body got wrecked from having a baby. And I was so upset because I was so young. I'm like, my youth, like, these are the years that you're supposed to like look your best. And I'm like, this would help with the mom pouch. And so I just was so excited about it. But then she was like, oh, you can enter to win for free. So I entered to win. And then she texted me. She's like, you should have a party. You didn't win, but you should have a party. And I was like, girl, like, I don't have friends. Like, I'm a teen mom, okay? Teen moms don't have friends. So anyways, I was like, yeah, I'll think about it. Meaning, like, I probably wouldn't. Well, she never followed up with me. And so later, it was like 2 weeks later, I saw it works on Facebook. And here's the crazy behind the scenes thing is that I was so miserable every single day. Like, I was literally like stressed out. I was so upset. And it was just like an extremely hostile environment in my house because we were so stressed out. And I kept asking God for like something. I was like, can you just do something? Like, can my husband get a raise at work? He works in construction. Like, if he could just get a raise, that'd be great. Could I somehow like make more money? Could we hit the lottery? I don't know, like anything. And so then it works pops up again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? I want the wrap. Yes. So I entered to win another free wrap. Okay. And this time I won. So this is the crazy part. So I won the wrap. I tried the wrap. It worked. And I was like, wow, this is great. And she asked me to be a customer. And I was like, absolutely not, girl. Like, I can't even afford my bills. I can't, like, there's no way. And then she kept talking to me. She offered me the business. And I said, no. And like, she continuously talked to me, was like, I feel like you'd be so good at this. And I even told Zach, I was like, I don't know what this girl's problem is, but she's obsessed with me and she thinks I'd be good at this business thing, but like, I am not doing it. Like, she talked to me every day as if we were friends for like our whole life. And then she kept like suggesting it, like just little, hints here and there. And then like, she was just like, so are you ready to do this business yet? And then it was April 1st or April 2nd. And she's like, listen, this is the best day to join because of the bonuses and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, all right, whatever. Like, finally I said, yes, I'll just give it a shot. Because at that point I had a really stressful day. I had no money again. And I was like, like, I'm sick and tired of living like this. I don't want to live like this anymore. Like, we have nothing. And what do I have to lose? And so I got started, and this is where like everything started changing for me. I was the slowest person ever in the beginning. So if you guys sign slow people in the beginning, don't write them off, because they might honestly just be really afraid. I'm an extremely red leader, but in the beginning, I feel like I was definitely not yellow, because I'm really not an emotional person, but I was very, very shy and afraid of judgment. And so I already had so many people judging me. And as Reds, like, we don't want that, where we feel like we are worthless, or we don't want to feel like we don't have power. And so whenever I was, doing this, I'm like, man, everybody's going to know I'm broke. Everybody's going to know I don't have any money, and I'm desperate. And that's why I'm doing this. And so it took me my full 30 days to get my first customers and my shopping spree. And once I got my last customer on my 30th day. And then after that, it was my first stranger. So my first 3 were family. My last one was a stranger. And that was when I believed that I could actually do more with this. And right after that, I started getting more customers on social media. And then I promoted to Ruby. It was my 3rd month in. And then a month after that, I went Emerald. And then shortly after that, like, this was like the holiday time. So I was like promoting, my business was exploding. I was getting so many new team members. Like, I was just on fire. Forgot to mention my upline quit when I went Ruby. So I went Emerald on my own. Then after that, I went, shortly after I went to conference, and then I went Diamond and Double Diamond. So my Double Diamond was my 11th month. So it was 10 months Diamond, 11 months Double Diamond. And then shortly after, or a year after that, I went Triple, and everything was fine and dandy. I was able to, in that time, from Double Diamond, we were able to pay bills, pay off debt, and be able to buy a house that was big enough for our family. Our first home was only 900 square feet. It was a little tiny townhome. I'm so grateful for that little thing, but having a baby in a 900 square foot townhome with like a big dog was just like too much. So we got into a little bit bigger house. We were able to start living more comfortably. I went Triple Diamond, which allowed my husband to come home. We were doing so many good things as a family, paid off more debt. We were able to buy cars that were safe and we loved. We were paying bills on auto pay. Like, money was no longer a problem, because we were making, good money. We were making 5 figures a month. And this is more money than I've ever seen in my life, deposited every single month. And then after that, I got stuck at Triple Diamond. And this was like a monumental part of my business, because I was stuck at Triple Diamond for a year and a half. And I could not, like, when I tell you, I told you I'm red as heck. So I was frustrated. I was mad at everyone. I was just like angry. And then I'm like, maybe this isn't for me. Like, maybe I'm not going to go farther than this. Maybe I'm here. I was only meant to get to Triple Diamond. And I was telling myself all of these lies, because I was settling and I was good with 5 figures a month, like making $10, $12, $15,000 a month. That's good money. That's a lot of money. And so I was just chilling, because this was like my dream, honestly. When I first came into the business, this kind of money, like, obviously I wanted to be an ambassador, but this kind of money was just like really good. And so I sat there and I kept getting angry. Like, why is my team not growing? People are quitting. Things aren't going my way. Why? 1, I was getting really complacent with my finances. 2, I was really, really okay with not really doing much for my team. Like, I was doing trainings, like I was going through the motions, but I wasn't casting vision. I wasn't intentional. I didn't have plans. I was just going through the motions and wondering why is my team not inspired to take off? Like, why do I not have rock stars? And then I'm comparing, wow, well, this girl went Triple at the same time as me, and I'm not, she's already presidential going ambassador, and here I am, I'm still a Triple Diamond. And so I finally figured out, I had my daughter, my second daughter, we got pregnant with her, and then I had her right in July. I was Triple about a little bit over a year and a half then. And then I made the decision, because I was like, I thought I made the decision. I wanted to go pres before she was born, but it didn't happen. I made the decision after she was born, and on July 3rd, I was going to go presidential. We had I was barely hanging on to Triple, like 50K, like group volume-ish, like maybe 55. Like, I was literally hanging on by like a little string. Then after that, she was born. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm tired of this. I felt the urge and like just like this feeling I had to move. Like, I just felt like we didn't belong in Charlotte anymore. I didn't want to be there. I felt like we needed to move. But I'm like, I knew that this house wasn't my dream. I knew I didn't want to live here forever. But it was just weird that this happened. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go presidential so we can afford something way better, way bigger. We're going to do something really great. And so I took my team. I had 2 solid legs. Okay. And back then you needed like 5, okay? So I had 2 solid legs, and then my 1 leg quit, which was my best, like at the time, my best friend. She was a diamond. I helped her get there, and she quit on me. And that really made me upset. But I had 2. And so I was barely hanging on at 50K. Now listen to these numbers. In 2 months, in 60 days, we went from 2 legs, okay, to 5. we had over, when I went presidential in 60 days from that moment, we had over the 100K. We had like 170K GV, like some ridiculous amount of jump. And then like I had a strong foundation of leaders. The biggest thing I can tell you is I started to journal and speak life into myself. I stopped speaking death into everything that I had and just like basically ruining my own life, self-sabotaging like 24/7. I started speaking life into myself and journaling and telling God, like, I'm done. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry for slacking. I'm sorry for asking for things without willing to put in the work, but I'm ready for this. And I prayed about everything as if it were like, it was happening already. Like, it already happened. I'm a top 150 income earner. And at this point, I wasn't even top 150. Like, I wasn't even that realm yet. I went from not being in there, and then I was like, I was number, oh my gosh, you guys, like mom brain so bad. I was at the bottom, like 149 or something, okay? And then they released numbers, and then it was like from 149, and that was right before I went press, okay? So it was like the month after they released numbers, I was 149. Then I went to, in conference time, I was like number like 60 something. And then they do it in the summer again, and then I was top 30. And that's going to play a part because it still comes along. So anyways, I went presidential. All the cool things happened after journaling and realizing that I was self-sabotaging. And then right after the presidential, I went ambassador in March. So presidential in September, March, I went ambassador. And shortly after that, I was top 30. And then shortly after that, I was top 20 and I went to Costa Rica. So there was so much growth that happened in my business in that time. But like we were able to, not only was I, once I went pres, was I able to leave my house. We actually listed our house, went on vacation because we were going to travel to just different cities to find where we wanted to live. And we stopped in Savannah, Georgia first, which was the most incredible city. I'm so obsessed with it. We decided that like, I was just like, I felt homey. I was like, this is my place. I want to live here. And so that same trip that we went on a vacation to, I actually called the realtor. We toured houses. We went back home. We came back down, toured more houses, and put an offer in, got it accepted. And listen how God worked. This is the craziest thing. The home that we're in now is truly a dream. And this is something, this house was custom built by somebody else and their financing fell through and they didn't get to buy the house. So when I looked at the house, this house had literally everything I wanted and was custom built by somebody else that I got to come in. I swooped it up, I bought it, and it was ours in 30 days. So we went from living in Charlotte and packed all our crap up, put it all in a pod. They moved it down to Savannah for us. We moved into our house. My husband, everybody comes down. We're a full-time family, and we got to put a massive down payment on this house. We get to pay more off in principal than I used to make in a year. I'm able to, we bought my husband a super fantastic truck, brand new, fully loaded, all of the things that we want, and we get to homeschool my kids. We don't have to worry about any of the schooling stuff. I get to choose how I educate my kids on a regular basis. I don't have to worry about money. And this year in 2020, my biggest dream was to put in a custom pool in my backyard, and it is scheduled to go in September. And so we've been able to do so many things, but the biggest thing, you guys, is family time. This is something that I didn't have growing up. My dad was working all the time. He was around, he loved me and stuff, but he wasn't like home ever. And so I never really got time with my dad. And being a girl, I think this is something that affected me growing up, like not having my dad around a lot. And so having my kids be able to have their father in their life every single day, just as much as mom, is something that means a lot to me. And knowing that my girls get to see that, hey, mom is a boss and mom makes sure that anything that we want to happen happens. And so we just go big, and we just, we believe that God will truly bless us whenever he puts something on our hearts and we go after it. He just does it bigger than we could ever imagine. I'm just so grateful. But yeah, that's my story.
Dude, I mean, I'm looking at my list of questions and I'm like, she's hitting them already, like bam, bam, bam. I'm like, I'm just ready to get off the Zoom and run right now. I'm sure everybody's on that same page with me, but it is just so incredible, dude. Like just knowing not only like all the things that you've been able to do, like just, just me even like watching all of your posts and different things that you've been sharing just in the last like year, it's just so inspiring. It is so inspiring because like you just said, it's like mom is a boss. She's just making this happen, and she's making it happen for all of us, and like we're going big. And I love that you're just, something that I've personally learned from you is just the whole like extra like mindset and journaling and claiming things and putting it out there and just like going. And so honestly, like a lot of what I speak to my team on as far as that is a lot of what I've even pulled from different trainings that you've been on and stuff like that. And so I love that you touched on that a little bit. And I'm sure that you could probably do a whole entire Zoom just on that topic alone. But you guys, did you hear that? Like she went from 2 solid legs to 5 solid legs in 60 days, and what doubled more than doubled your volume in 60 days, and your volume was at like 50K. So we're talking like well over. That's insane, you guys. Like that is amazing. And that was how she was talking about how she did it after she decided. Like she was just like, I decided I'm doing it, and then you made the switch. And so a couple things, I'm like all like my questions are not going to be flowy at all. So
Okay.
one of them, if you could talk about, okay, so I don't want to say the boring stuff, but like just I want to ask this question so I can get this one done and check out of the way, and then I want to move into like the more exciting stuff. But like, so I know that you do a lot of stuff on Instagram. So our team is primarily like we work heavily over on Facebook, and I wanted you to share just a little bit maybe about some of the differences of how that they work, because I know that some people are even might be a little bit nervous of like, I'm so comfortable on Facebook, and I mean, not saying that you have to do both, but like letting them know that like you can do Instagram, like you can do it. It's not like something that's like crazy, or you know, that you have to be a special kind of person in order to do the things over there. So if you could kind of touch on like maybe just like the similarities and the differences and how you work it and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Facebook, funny. I actually did Facebook my entire first year of business. I got to double diamond on Facebook, but here's what I learned about Facebook. Facebook is slow pace, okay? You're thinking more of like for distributors, it's more of like you're gonna go on like match.com, okay? You're looking for somebody, you're gonna go on match.com, you're gonna go on dates, like it's gonna be slow. Then Instagram's like Tinder. So we're just gonna get down to the business and we're just gonna do the dang thing. So you get doing things on Facebook is great. And yes, I still post on Facebook. Yes, I still use it. Yes, I still sign people. But hey, if I'm going to put in some work and I'm going to get some results faster, I'm going to do it on Instagram. I'm going to talk about my life. There's stories. And yes, people watch Facebook stories. I know that. But I'm getting 3,000 views a day on my Instagram stories, and I'm getting 500 on my Facebook. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. I've probably got followers. I don't know. I don't really do Facebook like that. But my Instagram, like I'm getting way more views. It's just the way it is. I'm 24 years old. So I know a lot of people in my age range, in my market, they're on Instagram. I mean, shoot, my mom's like 45 or something, and she's literally on Instagram. So I feel like, you know, overall, and I listen to a lot of Gary Vee, and I'm sure like if you guys ever heard him, like he talks about this a lot. It's just like Facebook, kind of like you guys know MySpace kind of died, right? Facebook is on its deathbed. So if that makes sense to you, like it's not necessarily like dead today, but it's not something that's going to continue to thrive years down the road. We never thought MySpace would die at the time, but here it is. And then Instagram comes in and snatches it up, and more people are just on there that I find, and like they're way more just engaging, and they like the job of Instagram is to look at your photos, comment, like, and talk about them. Facebook, people are talking about all sorts of crazy like stuff that isn't necessarily like, you know, positive or encouraging or exciting. On Instagram, you don't see so much of the like it's bad. So you want to kind of like, I just use Instagram like daily, more consistently, but like you will see me talk on Facebook. But you don't have to be a unicorn. Instagram, I was actually, let me tell you guys a story real quick. So I was against Instagram because I thought it was hard and complicated. But the girl, my second distributor I ever signed, Brittany Cromwell, she just won ambassador this year. She was like, you have to get on Instagram, Katie, you have to get on Instagram. And I was like, dude, I seriously, like, I never signed a distributor on Instagram. I don't know what I'm doing. And the funny thing was, is like, I never put my effort into Instagram. So like, I would post like 3 things. I'm like, dude, I don't get anybody on here. Like, this is so dumb. I'm not doing this. And then like, I finally caught the drift because she's signing people like Tinder, right? So quick. And I'm like, dude, like, what the heck? And she's like, yeah, I just found him on Instagram. Yeah, I found him on Instagram. And I was like, okay. I'm going to get on Instagram then. And then that's actually when I became a mass enroller. I was enrolling over 10 distributors a month when I got to Instagram. And on Facebook, I was sending a good amount. Like I would maybe send like 8 to 10, but like by using Instagram and incorporating that consistently, it was like 10 plus.
Oh, that's amazing. And random quick question. So you've been a mass enroller for quite a long time. Like even in considering It Works as foundation and Steps to Success, that's 3 distributors a month. So anything to me, anything above Steps to Success, I would consider mass enrolling, you know what I mean? According to, you know, what that is. So what do you think that you, because I know you do a lot of like attraction marketing and stuff like that. So did you, in order to get to that point, were you also like reaching out? Because a lot of distributors come to you at this point, right? Because of how you are marketing and how you are doing a lot behind the scenes and stuff like that. But I'm like, blah, 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 not wording my question right. But basically, like, did it take time to like start doing that consistently? Of you, like, bringing people in, that amount of people consistently? Did that take time, or did all of a sudden, like, you just are, recruiting 8 to 10 to 20 or whatever the amount is of, distributors each month?
So, okay, it does take time. Like Instagram, you got to be patient a little bit, but it's because people need to see you. It's just like on Facebook. Like if you don't post a lot, nobody sees your stuff. So basically, like on Instagram, I had to give it some time. When I decided I was going to go presidential, okay, I told you guys I was at like triple. I had like 6,000 followers. I went ham on Instagram, and I really set my attraction marketing game up. It wasn't like, oh, attraction marketing, pretty photos, good captions. This was really me diving in and learning. I don't have enough on you guys. So like, I don't have somebody to be like, hey, what is attraction marketing? Do you have a video on that? Where can I find that? I go on YouTube and I search it all. And so I'm looking not just at work people, I'm looking at like gurus, people who coach on this. Like, what are some attraction marketing tips? I'm on like Pinterest, and I learned how to create a brand. How do you, like, what are pillars? What do I love? Things like that. Like, what do people know Katie Bevington for? That's what I was looking to develop. And so I started developing that. And on my Instagram, I did that when I was going presidential. And now people, it gives them, the reason that this important, the content, I'm sure you've heard me talk about this on my Zooms. Content is crucial. So if you don't have content, then your Instagram is pointless, because content is like your bread and butter for people coming to you. Oliver. So anyways, so basically I had to figure out what was going to be, what do people know me for? What do I love? What am I passionate about? And this means that, yes, sometimes you have to dig a little deeper. I've got a lot of people on my team are like, well, I'm a mom, and so am I. And a lot of times we lose passion as a mom because we become mom, housekeeper, maid, chef, whatever. And so we have to figure out, what do we love and what can we talk about and how can I relate to other people? Because I want people to come to my profile and see that I'm a real person. I'm authentic. You can relate to me. Like, I'm down to earth, I'm, and all the things about me that I just want people to feel like they can talk to me. And I want to not just grow It Works and grow my income, but I want to make an impact. And how can I do that? That's how I decided what I'm going to post about and talk about. And so once I established this and I started posting about it on my Instagram, I would say it took me about 2 months-ish, kind of like the timeline of me going press. And I really started, you guys, like when I post about that, and I have a really strategic system about opening positions. But when I started doing this, when I say I have 7 positions, I use the influencer application now because now we're fancy and that's what we have. But before then, we didn't even know about this. So I didn't use that. I just said, like, vote on my poll and I'll message you. But I would literally get like 20, 30, 40 votes for like send me info every time I opened it. And I'm like, now that I share my story a lot, and this has nothing to do with me being an ambassador, by the way, this has everything to do with my content. Because I've got people on my team that are like 60 days in with good content and they're enrolling the same amount as me. So nobody knows what ambassador is except for you guys. Like, It Works people, you all know what ambassador means. It's a big deal. But nobody else in the world, if I'm like, oh, Ambassador Diamond, they're like, good for you. So when I'm talking about on my Instagram, I'm not saying, hi, I'm Katie, I'm an Ambassador Diamond. I'm talking about, what does this business do for my family? I'm a stay-at-home mom. I get to be with my kids every day because of this business. I got to go pay somebody to pick up my organic groceries and drop it on my doorstep. So I don't have to grocery shop because somebody does that for me. Things like this. I never used to even could afford groceries. I'm talking about my story and bringing them in, talking to them, relating to them. And when they come to my Instagram, they see that, they feel that, and so it comes in. So you have to give it time. You will get better at this. And I wasn't signing 20 DTs in 60 days. I was having more people come to me. But after I implemented this, you guys, I'm signing, I don't know the last time, I don't remember a month where I haven't signed 20. It's been at least 20 plus every single month by using this. And eventually, in the beginning, I had to reach out. But at this point, I don't even have to message because I still to this day have thousands of people in my influencer applications I have not even messaged back yet, because I literally am one person and cannot message back 3,000 people in a day. So I'm working on it, but you will get to that point. But this is patience, this is work, and you being willing to do whatever it takes. This is Instagram videos. This is your IGTV. This is live videos. This is you on your stories every single day. This is you posting consistently every single day. This is you taking it serious. And these things start to blow up. And also TikTok.
Whew, yes. So consistency and utilizing what Instagram offers, like she's saying. So like polls, IG stories, or not IG stories, IG, whatever they're called or whatever. The IG, I know what I'm talking about. IGTV. There we go. Oh my God, I couldn't think of it. Anyways, and then your face. Like Katie's always like posting video clips, and she's not just doing it of like talking about the business or something like that. Like I'm seeing stuff on there like her kids, what she's cooking, like things that have to do like with what she was talking about as far as content. Like she's posting about all of those things, like in a mixture of all of those areas. And so when you said when you used to reach out to people in the beginning, were you ever like reaching out to distributors, or are you just meaning, or reaching out and asking people and offering the business, or were you just meaning like reaching out to them and like building a relationship type of thing, or both, or what was that like in the beginning?
So I mean, you guys, like, I'm not scared to message anyone. Like, if I think you'd be good, I'm gonna ask you. But basically, when I like on my Instagram, I'm so relatable. So like, I always try to make sure when people come to my Instagram, they feel like I'm a friend. So this is my building relationships, because you should be messaging me off of my stuff, like what I'm talking about, because you relate to me. I'm going for those people, and a lot of people will. And if you notice, like, I get no DMs ever from anyone on Instagram, it's because you're not giving them anything to talk to you about. So I ask questions. I engage. I'm like, what do you guys think? Like the other day, like random things. Like sometimes I'm like, I wonder if I have a lot of dog people. So yesterday I talked about my dog. Now I have like 15, 20 DMs about dogs. So it's just like, I'm getting people, and then people I've never talked to before. So they're looking at my stuff consistently. And then like when they talk to me, then they see like, oh, she's real. She responds, all those things. And so this is me building relationships. And when I do that, people are like, and I'm like, okay, this girl looks so cute. I see when they DM me, I'm like, I go to their profile. I'm like, okay, she likes dogs. Like, so if I talk more about dogs, if I ask dog questions, she's going to come to me. If I'm talking about homeschool, if I'm talking about organic stuff, these moms over here, these ones are going to message me and we're going to talk about it. And I'll engage in conversation. So then when I'm posting about the business, they're interested. But if they don't message me, I swipe up on my stories and I will message off of those. And I don't make this awkward. I do not make a super scripted message. If you watch any of my videos, you guys, I do not use scripts, just because I want these people to know, like, I'm like a real person, and I don't just mass message like a lot of people the same thing. So I'm like, hey, I noticed that you watch a lot of my stories, and I was just curious, have you ever considered doing what I do? I was going through and seeing, some of my followers and looking at your page, like, I just feel like you would do so well at this. And, and then I always say, not sure if you could use the extra money or not. So it's like it's totally normal, like not offensive. If you say no, cool. If you say yes, cool. But like that takes a lot of the pressure off. And most of these people, you guys, I'm getting 3,000 plus views a day on my story. Most of these people are like, yo, like, yeah, I do. I'm just scared. I'm scared to ask. I'm scared to say something to you. Like, and you can message off of people who like your photos. And in the beginning, do not freak out if you don't have a lot of views on your story. That does not mean stop. That means do more, because people want to see stuff there. When they see that you consistently post, like, I don't know if you guys follow anybody on Instagram that like when they post, you're like, ooh, and you want to see what they talk about. Because that's me. Like, I have certain people, and I'm like, ooh, she posted another story. Let me see what you talk about. So they'll eventually want to see what you're talking about, but you got to establish, like, what are you talking about? Like, why should they come to your profile? Like, what are you showing them that they need to see? And this can be literally anything. You don't have to be anything like me. Like, the things that I like to tell my team that are huge. Like, so first off, think about if I were to say, okay, you have 3 hours on YouTube to go waste on whatever. What are you typing in? Like beauty, makeup, fashion hauls, like lifestyle vlogs. Like, it can be literally anything, like funny content. Like, I don't care. But like, you're going to watch those things that are coming into your head. That's the kind of content you should be creating. But you're like, oh, but Katie, I suck at makeup. Great, get better at it. You love makeup, or you're not going to spend 3 hours on YouTube watching it. So you love it, use it, show people. Like, you guys, if I talk about the makeup that I use, or like I did a tutorial on how I did my eyebrows, and like so many views, so many comments, and so many messages from that, I am not a makeup person at all. Like, I love makeup, but I'm not like a guru at it. And so it just brings people in. But beauty, makeup, like skincare, hair stuff, products that you use, recipes, working out, supplements, like routines, vlogs, kids, things like that. Like, people just want to see that. And so if you're showing them that, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, I love when Katie posts, because she always talks about this, or she's got the best tips with this. Or when they think homeschool and they see a meme, or they think, Kim Kardashian, they're going to see a meme, they're going to tag me, because these are things that I like, I'm known for, and then we can connect, and then it's not awkward to offer them the business. We talk in here all the time, and I've just been really nervous to ask, like, have you ever considered doing what I do? Because I feel like you'd be really good, but I've been really scared to ask because I didn't know if it's something that you would even consider. Then they're like, oh my God, no, girl, don't worry about it. Like they feel like they can open up to you. So just be yourself and don't worry about saying the wrong thing, because you can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
Oh, yes, exactly. That was so good. So good. One more question on Instagram. So when you are like building your following, okay? So I know like in the past, like I was building on Instagram. I still actively like post on it and interact and do stories, but I'm not actively working it and like growing it like I should be. You know what I mean? Like trying to build my following like I should be. And so a while ago when we were doing it, I know that people have used the apps like, I don't even know if they even work anymore, but like Captivate and all like that and stuff. Once we started having like issues with it, I haven't really done anything else with it. Are you following and unfollowing people organically?
Honestly, not really. I get a lot of people from TikTok that follow me now. So
Okay.
it's kind of like my new jam.
Okay.
If TikTok didn't exist, yes, I would still follow people, but you cannot use Captivate anymore. That it will get your Instagram shut down.
Okay. And then as far as like unfollowing, then you're not even maybe not even needing to do that.
It's really annoying to unfollow. I
Yeah.
do unfollow because Instagram limits you to how many people you can follow. So honestly, this is like something I don't do a lot of it because it's extremely time consuming. But if you go to your following and you click them, like who you follow,
Hmm.
then go to their profile and then you click follow their following. If you're not the first profile that pops up, they don't follow you back.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I started doing that and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like so tedious. And then so like I kind of like was like, and I stopped doing it after a while. So, but I need to get back at honestly just doing it. And so, okay. If any of you guys have any questions for Kitty, if you want to throw those in the comments too, and we can kind of like go back if there's time and make sure that we catch up on what anybody else has. And okay, so if I could touch on a little bit about, um, I was gonna say like new distributors, but what would your like main like biggest advice to a brand new distributor? Like what would be like a blanketed like, listen, just do this or whatever. Like what would be your best advice for a newbie?
Okay, so there's like two parts to this, but part one is to not listen to anything that anybody from the outside world, outside of it works, tells you. Because anybody that has outside, like they don't want to see you doing well. And I had my fair share of haters, and if I would have listened to them, I wouldn't be sitting here doing what I do now. So block that out. Number two, tune into everything. This means family calls. This means the Zooms. If you have an opportunity to get on a Zoom with your team, with another team, with whoever, if you see somebody's hosting a power hour, you see somebody's hosting a journaling Zoom, you get on that, because you have like the closer you stay to the fire, the closer you stay to people who have the same like missions, the same goals, the same visions, the better you're going to do, because it's easy to isolate and self-sabotage. The more you pull away, the less you're going to want to do, because you're like, oh, my mom said this is dumb. My husband said this is dumb. I'm dumb. I'm not going to do this. This is a bad idea. But if you're close to the fire and you're saying, hey, this girl went ambassador, makes $30,000 a month. What would $30,000 a month do for my family? And they're like, you're worthy. You got this. You can do this. You're not going to give up. But you have to remember that, like, the more that you isolate, the more you pull away, even when you don't feel like it, you guys, I swear it's the Zooms that when I get on and I do not feel like it, I'm tired, I don't want to, I'm like, I am so overwhelmed right now. But I get on the Zoom, I feel like something just like slaps me across the face and like, wow, this is good. And so you gotta get yourself close, get on, read the trainings, do the things, because I can promise it's not the business that doesn't work, it's you.
Yes, absolutely. I always tell people, I'm like, I've never left a Zoom and been mad that I got on it or did not feel fired up when I left, like ever. Like even if it was just like the most like quote unquote boring Zoom, or like if it was like more of like the green type stuff, which was what I'm not. I every time doesn't matter. I always leave more fired up than I was when I hopped on. And so exactly, staying close to the fire is important. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about like journaling and speaking things into existence, because I know how big you are on this. And I really like, I try to push it as much as I can. And I think one of the reasons why I talk about it with my team so much too is because it's kind of something that I, mindset and stuff like that is a big thing that a lot of us just struggle with, and me personally just struggle with. Just, it's something that I've struggled with my whole entire life. So I think that's why I like try so hard to be like, listen, you gotta like get your mind right and all like that. So if you could touch on how, like, because you said that played a major role in your switch and your decision, and you were like moving on from like triple and above, right? Going from triple to presidential, and how that affected. And then I'm gonna kind of ask, you will probably answer this question within there, but basically also, if you have somebody that's been sitting, this is kind of like a two-parter part of it. So like, say you have somebody that's been sitting at a rank because they've just straight up have not been doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. Like they're just like, they're not like in it. So they feel like stuck, so to speak, in like a crappy way. Or you have a person that has been sitting at a rank and they're not stuck in a crappy way, but they're stuck in that kind of like how you were talking about earlier, that comfortable way. And like just kind of touching on like what it takes to get like that breakthrough from both of those standpoints. So sorry, that was like a whole bunch, but I figured that it would all be answered within the same thing probably. So
yeah, just tell me if I forget something. Okay, so if you're let's talk about first being in a crappy way. Okay, when I find my team being stuck in a crappy way, it's because they refuse to let go of the people that they already had on their chart. So it's like, if you're gonna go, we're gonna talk diamond. If you're going diamond, you have an emerald and a ruby. Okay, Susie is gonna be your emerald to your diamond. And then who cares about the ruby? We're not talking about that right now. So Susie has been your emerald to your diamond chart for 6 months. Susie is not emerald. Susie shows up to one Zoom a month and then tells you she's mad that her check doesn't go up. Susie enrolls 1 to 3 LCs a month. Susie does not show initiative, okay? But Susie is still your emerald to your diamond. And you're still gonna make her there because she's on your chart. Even though Susie has a working Ruby over here named, we'll call her Karen. Karen's working, and Karen is trying to take off with her business, but you don't care about Karen because you want Susie to promote to emerald. So you're really trying to get Susie. Susie only answers you half of the time. Why is this girl on your chart? Why is she even on there? Like that should have been eliminated 5 months ago. If your leaders are not showing initiative to move forward, you can love them where they are. It's okay, Susie. I still love you, that you want to be a distributor. You want to stay in this spot. You don't want to change your situation. I don't hate you for that. But I am going to take Karen and I'm going to run with Karen because Karen really wants to change her business. You guys, there's so many people that get left in the cracks because we are so focused on who was originally who boxed us in. Just because they're boxed and there's less CTs, let me tell you a secret. There is no limit on distributors. We are not running out. It is not a scarcity. If I'm enrolling 20 plus a month, you guys, in May, I enrolled 95 distributors in 1 month. So like, if I'm telling you that there is literally no cap, why are we holding on to somebody when literally we could take a ruby leg, which is 4 people, slap it under that other ruby, right? And then get a few more under one of their legs. We can have a brand new emerald and you would be diamond, but you're too busy talking about Susie and keep going your upline. What do I do? Susie's not motivated. How do I motivate my team? Susie don't care. So you have to go with people that do care. Your dream should not be put on hold because somebody in your downline can't get it together. If you worked at Target and you're the manager and your cashier shows up to 1 out of 5 of their shifts, are you gonna fire them or not? So you have to think of your business like a business. I know, especially for the yellows, I'm always like, guys, I know you love your people, okay? I get it. But like, you can love them without putting your life on hold for them, okay? So you've got to just start thinking about what do I have? Who do I have? And if this means you have 2 working people, you have 2 working people. That doesn't matter. You should be thankful that you have 2 working people, and then you're gonna start praying in more people and asking God to just show you and give you the people that are ready to go. And he'll do that. But you've got to be willing to let go of the non-workers. And this is hard, I know. But now we've got 2 people working on a diamond chart. Maybe one is like a clear 400 bucks. She shows up on Zoom. She's probably like, woohoo, like I've got 3 customers this month, girlfriend. I'm so excited. And that's great. We got her 3 customers. She's interested in getting, to the 500 club. That's her jam. That's great. Now we have one girl who's like, I get on every Zoom. I'm on every power hour. Every time a Zoom is shared, I'm on the Zoom. Those are the people I'm like, we are taking you to Ruby. I'm going to take you to Emerald. I'm going to take you to Diamond. But we're going to work together. When you say, my number one thing with my leaders is, if you say you're going to do something, like, I'm holding you to it. Don't step back. There is no 1 foot in and 1 foot out. There's 2 feet in, and we're doing this together. No turning back. It's like when you get on a roller coaster and you're going up the hill and you kind of regret it. And you're like, I maybe shouldn't have done this, but you're going to do it anyways because you're already strapped in. So I'm like, get your seatbelt on. We're doing it. So anyways, we talk about it. We work one-on-one. I'm coaching them. I talk to them every day. And next thing you know, they're developing into a leader and they're taking off. So don't let the non-workers, the excuse makers hold you back from building new. I know it's scary to wipe that chart clean. I know it's hard. You're like, I gotta let this go. And if you have nobody working, again, doesn't matter, because if I can sign 95 in a month, you can sign 5, 10, and you can actually sign 95 if you really put your mind to it. So you just have to decide that those people aren't gonna hold you back, okay? Now, if you have a team and you're like, we're chilling, like my team's chilling, we're making good money, this is more money than I ever made, we're just living the best life right now, but you find yourself like still saying things like, I can't afford that. I can't afford it right now. Like, right now that you want to go to Hawaii, right? Can you afford that vacation right now? No? Okay, then you're not making enough money. So this is what you got to do. You got to find what motivates you and drives you and what's next. So for me, I knew I wanted a new house, right? And I'm like, I need a new house, I need a new house, I want a new house, I want a new house, I want a new house. And so that was like something that just like, I felt that like speaking to me, like I had to move. So that was what motivated me to get to press and get off my butt, because obviously I'm not trying to buy a house in like a triple diamond budget when I could buy in a presidential budget. So I was just moving my way up, right? And so when I got into ambassador, I'm a double diamond on my 2.0, about to go triple diamond. And so I'm over here thinking like, okay, obviously ambassador, my husband's a triple diamond, I'm an ambassador diamond, and my 2.0 is a double diamond. So I'm like, we're making good money, this is great, everything's fine, debt's paid off, what are we doing? So I had to find something else. The pool was the next thing for me. I need something else to motivate me and get me going. I have to have something that's just like, yes, I have to work for it. This can be anything for you. It doesn't have to be a massive thing, but it has to be something to where you're willing to lose sleep over it. And this could just be being a stay-at-home mom. And you've got to take the fear off the table, and you've got to stop saying like, yeah, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but I'm scared because it works isn't guaranteed. I want to be debt free, but like I owe $50,000 on my student loans. It's a lot of money. I don't know if I'll ever do that. You got to stop with the 1 foot in, 1 foot out, put both feet in, put your seatbelt on, because you're going down the hill on this roller coaster. You're locked in. You're not turning back anymore. And so you have to decide that you're going to do that. And this is going to be you waking up every day and you working your business. This means you don't go to bed without your tasks of the day done. This means when you wake up, you get your most dreaded task out of the way before you do anything else, because this is going to make your day feel less stressful. You're going to feel organized. You're going to get your stuff done. You're going to sign more people. But you have to make that decision. You've got to find what you love, what's going to drive you, what's going to push you, and what are you willing to lose sleep over. And then lastly is being consistent and telling your goal to your social media. When you say it out loud and you say, I'm going to go double diamond in August, well, guess what? Your social media saw that, and now you have to work towards that because it's holding you accountable. You don't want to be the one who says, I'm going to do something, and then I change my mind. If you don't hit it, don't beat yourself up for it. They don't know the deadline, but this doesn't mean, let's extend this for 6 months. Because I've seen people, like for my own personal self, I went presidential in 60 days after I decided I was going to go from triple to presidential with a ridiculous amount of group volume. But then after that, I saw my ambassador, my new ambassador, Brittany Cromwell, she needed 100,000 volume. Listen, 100,000 volume in 2 weeks. And her team pulled it together to go ambassador. And so if I see these things happen all the time, but it's literally when the leader says, I'm doing it, and I don't care who doesn't want to come, I'm just doing it. So are you guys coming with me or not? I'm willing to buckle up, get in the trenches, and do the things with you. But if you don't want to do this, it's okay. I'm just going to go with the people who did. And things start to happen. And this happens for all levels, but you just have to make that decision.
Whew. All right. That was good. That was some good stuff right there. I can't wait to watch, especially little bits and pieces of this recording tonight. Oh my gosh. Okay. Melissa says, can you touch on how you start your DTs off? Like, do you have a system that you use to help them work independently?
Yes. I've got a very good system. So basically, when somebody gets started with me, they get added to our team page. Then they go through 10 days of training. It's a 10-day unit system. It's our units in our team page, and it is golden. So day one is so basic. It's like, welcome to the team. I have a little welcome to the team video. I'm like, I'm so excited you're here. My whole team follows this, by the way. So it's just like, welcome to the team kind of a video. Then another video talks about basics. What is an LC? What's a DT? What's volume? What's, what are you going to expect? Where do you find stuff? Blah, 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 blah. And then unit 2, they make a post. So we have a post for every day. The first one is just the hosted post. So they put up a hosted post on their wall. And then the next part of the unit gives like all the scripts for the hosted post. So Thermoflight X, basic, testers needed, that one. And then the second unit just really talks about our team, a little bit more into hosted posts and reaching out like messages to their family, their friends, using the papers that we have. My gosh, what is it called? Like it has the steps of success, but like on the other side of the steps of success, it has like questions like, who do you know who loves coffee? Who do you know who loves this? And so we have them reach out to their family and friends about like that actually love coffee or actually love, whatever. So they're reaching out to those during that time. They have a new post and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. They have a huge announcement and they have a post of them like doing this, like, shh. Okay. Then the unit 3, they talk about more of it goes through so unit 3 is the post of the day, being a product of the product, staying connected. It's a video for why you should run an auto ship, basically. Staying connected, it tells them, we use Telegram for all of our team chats. So it tells them how to get in those Telegram chats. Totally recommend that if you guys aren't doing it. It's amazeballs, okay? It's the best thing ever. And then we get them into a checklist. And we have a power hour that goes through the checklist. So basically they watch the YouTube video about how to do the checklist, adding people, messaging people, posting, all that kind of stuff. It's all on here. They have to watch it. And then they get the checklist done every single day from now on. So this is now a part of our unit. So that was day, what, 4? Or day 3? Yeah, that was day 3, day 3. So they do that all on day 3. Okay. And then day 4, they have a post, they do the checklist, and then I do a video about posting, why it's important, how to post, what to post, when to post, and then just stuff like little like things to know about like, asking before you send somebody up, have you ever been a customer with It Works before, blah, blah, blah. Having them fill out their 1099, like their form up on eSuite, make sure that gets out. And then they do the power hour again. And then they do their post. Unit 5 talks about self-development, why that's really important, doing your daily checklist. Day 6, checklist again, how to share your story video. So talking about like how do you type up your story. And day 7 is time management. How do you get this done when you're super busy? Checklist again, obviously post of the day again. Day 8, post of the day checklist, messaging video. How do you message people? What do you say? Blah, blah, blah. Day 9, post of the day checklist and organization. Like, so like, how do you like basically staying super organized? We use Wordboard. I'm sure you guys know of that. But we teach them how to use that. And then day 10, this is really just talking about same thing like the checklist and all that kind of stuff again. It just talks about discipline and doing the follow-up. So being disciplined, being consistent, things like that, and how to follow up. Why do we follow up and like what to say when you're following up? So basically you just keep people, like I get them through everything. Then once they're done this process, then we move forward. There's more units that teach them more things like how do I sign distributors? Because I would say, we all know we have distributors that quit on the spot. Okay, I'm not a unicorn. My people still do that. But people that go through unit 1 through 10, most of them, like I would say like 8 out of 10 of them get their 6 LCs. If they quit, that doesn't count them, okay? But these are people who like genuinely work through, like 10 DTs go through unit 1 through 10, they get their 6, and then we're immediately working on distributors after that. And like I have a unit on like how to sign distributors, posting, I have like YouTube videos on that, so yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for going into detail with that and sharing the units. We do have units too, and they're kind of similar to that, but I loved all of that you just said. So I know that you're like just about like real quick needing to hop off. So if you wanted to just like close us out with like the importance of like whatever is on your heart, talking about speaking things into existence, claiming your goals, deciding, I'm sure you'll close us out just amazing with whatever you got.
Yeah, so real quick, this question in the chat. So because you guys like literally Telegram's a game changer for me because I don't like having messages in my messenger. because it clogs up my feed. So, and I have, obviously, you guys imagine, I have like a lot of team chats, okay? So I have, I moved everything to Telegram. This is amazing because one, you can delete messages. If you've ever had somebody go haywire in your chat, that can be deleted. Number two, yeah, it's a game changer. We have what's called a stay connected chat for my entire team. There is no limit on how many people that can be. There might be like a ridiculous limit, like 300,000, but like obviously I don't have a team that big yet. So stay connected chat, you can add in a lot of people. And that's where, like, when we're doing a training, I tell my people in there so that it's not lost on my team page. So like everybody gets notified and nobody can talk except for the admins. So when I send chats, I'm not getting, yay, can't wait, cool. And then it's like 500 people saying something and like nobody even knows what we're talking about anymore. So it's just real simple that nobody can talk in there. We share trainings, we share videos to watch, we share anything that's like really important, goes and stay connected. Then we have a content chat, which is really great because we teach our team, like it's like Instagram slides. We have all of like compiled like Instagram slides. You can go in there, you can get like product slides, you can get business slides, you can get whatever you need in the content chat. And then we have like team chats. So basically it's just really organized way. It's just like Messenger, but it's on Telegram. You can delete messages, you can mute people, you can limit what they can do. And what I can do is you can pin messages to the top. So we have like, basically we have like a runner's chat right now with my entire team. So there's a lot of people in it. But what I do is, so when they're talking all the time, I'll send a message like, oh my gosh, you're not going to want to miss this training. It's tonight at 9, blah, blah, blah. And then I pin it to the top. So everyone gets a notification that Katie just pinned something to the top. So you want, like, it's the best thing. And that way it keeps all of your team outside of your messenger. Don't text me, don't messenger me, Telegram me. And I'll go through it and look at it at night. And that way I know I've answered all of my team. And I did not miss a host to post message. I'm not missing all the other stuff. It might not be a big deal to like a new person, but like somebody who gets a lot of messages, like as you guys are going crazy, it is heaven. Okay. So good.
Dude, I definitely did not know that you could do all of that. I just thought it was like just like an extra chat thing. And I'm like, well, I don't really need another extra app chat to check. But that, everything that you just said, how you can like pinning and muting people, like what? Okay. Deleting, removing messages. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it's so good. I love it. And it's the only thing that sucks about Telegram is you cannot react to a message. Like you can't like heart it, which I feel like that'll come in later, but like this is enough for me to be like, yes, ma'am. So anyways, use that. But now talking about like my like manifesting things, bringing things to existence and realizing like what you want, you guys, finding your desires. If you ever, tell me, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt like you got an idea, or maybe you felt like I need to do this, like I want this is what we should do. Like you've got like an idea that just like stemmed in your heart and you need that, you want that, but you're like, that seems impossible. Has that ever happened to you? Anything, house, car, bank account, money, buying something, giving something. You're like, that sounds really cool, but like, I don't have money for that, right? I truly do not believe that this is something that just comes to your mind because you're bored. This is something that was gifted to you as a vision, and God's wondering if you're going to take up that mission and complete it. And so he says very clearly, I talk to my team about this a lot, but like, can I use you as a vessel to complete this mission? Yes or no? And so if you're not going to be open up, you're not going to work for it, you're not going to do it, then he's not going to do it through you. And so he's going to pass that mission on to somebody else. And this is why I read Pam Souter had me read the Prayer of Jabez, and it was a life-changing book for me because I know that everybody, if you're different, you can tell me, but I've not met somebody like this. But when you're busy, what's the first thing that goes in your routine? Self-development. And that we always eliminate it. I don't need it. I'm good today. I'm happy today until something happens, right? So basically, I read the Prayer of Jabez, and it was talking about how when every single day we wake up and like we're like, yeah, like God knows what I want. Like I'm going for this promotion. Come on, God, you know I'm trying to go diamond. What's up? So you're like actually like assuming that these things are going to happen, and you're assuming he knows what you want. You're assuming he's like, yes. But when I was reading the Prayer of Jabez, it was telling me how basically like this guy gets to heaven and there's a warehouse and there's tons of white boxes in there and they all have everybody's name on them. Read this book. It's really short, but you have to read it. And so basically there's a box with everybody's name on it, and like the guy was like the tour guy was like, oh, you don't need to go in there. You don't need to go in there. And he like finally gets in, he sees all these boxes and they have like a white box with a red ribbon around it with everybody's name. And he's like, what are these? And he's like, these are the people's gifts that they didn't get to claim because they didn't ask for them. And I was like, dude, like this just like shot my soul, because I'm like, how many days do I go along and I'm like, yeah, oh my gosh, I need some LCs, but like I don't ask. Or like, oh, I could really use this, but I don't ask. And like, I assume. It's kind of like our kids, right? And like they say things and like obviously my kids want to go to Disney World. Obviously my kids, but they're not asking or actively pursuing it. And so it doesn't put pressure on me to go do it. And so I was like, wow. And then I'm also thinking like, how many times like would you expect your very distant aunt to get you a birthday gift if you never talk to her? No, right? And so when we're praying about these things and when we're asking these things and we're like, I want this to happen, I want to go diamond, I want to go diamond. If you're not in constant communication with God, like these things can't happen. He needs you to have that open door policy. He needs you to journal and talk about what you want. In Mark 11:24, it very clearly says that you have to pray for it, you have to ask for it, and you have to believe that he's going to give it to you for it to be delivered. And so if you're not asking and you're not journaling about it and not saying like, you know, I'm so excited, God, like all of these people are coming in, they're coming to me from all sorts of angles. Like I'm getting LCs every day, so many I can barely keep up. Team members are flocking to me. I'm helping so many people become debt free. I'm helping people become stay-at-home moms. I'm helping, all of these things are happening. And next thing you know, these things start happening. This doesn't mean journal tonight and you're gonna have a mass enrollment tomorrow. This means consistent effort every single day in your journal, in there, studying, like writing. What do you want? Affirmations. Training yourself to be a better you is going to, it's going to affect your mind. Just like I said, affirmations. You can't have journaling without affirmations because you will be writing these things, but you won't believe these things, which breaks Mark 11:24. If you're praying for them, asking for them, but you don't think God's going to do it, it's too big, there's no way, I'm so far, then you're not getting it. You're already counting yourself out. This is counterproductive. So you've got to fully believe that this is going to happen. This requires crazy faith to step out and say, I'm going diamond with 2 people on my team in the next 30 days. But God can do that if you have faith and you work really, really hard. Things just start happening. I don't know how to explain this to you guys. I really don't. There was a time I was about to hit a promotion and you guys, I needed 800 volume and it was the last day of the month. I pulled in 800 volume in my own enrollments that day. Tell me that, like, that is not something that can be done just by Katie Bevington. It's not. And so when I was praying about it, and I journaled like 5 times that day, but I was like, you know what? Like, it's like, I know God's going to do this. Like, it's happening no matter what. God's doing it. God's doing it. God's doing it. And literally by 10 p.m. that night, I had enrolled 800 volume by myself. So you have to have crazy faith that those things are going to happen. You've got to journal about it. You've got to talk about it. You've got to ask about it. And those things will start happening, but it doesn't come, like you can't take out the pray. You can't take out the believe. You can't take out the work. You can't take out any of the steps of the formula because then it doesn't come out balanced. So put all of those things together and watch your business just truly start to explode.
And Mike dropped my pen for you. That's all I had. I was like, I had a pen. I could drop that. That was amazing, Katie. I know that you have to like probably run off to your next Zoom, but we appreciate you so much. Like I got a couple pages of notes here, like myself. I was like writing stuff down. So I really appreciate this. And thank you for even like, it had to be rescheduled, so double thank you for that. And I know my team, we've got a chat blowing up in here. We got a chat blowing up on Facebook Messenger. We'll probably get one on Telegram here soon. But thank you seriously so much. It really truly means a lot for you to take your time out and pour into us. We really appreciate it. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye, guys.